right, what you got?
Okay, so we'll start with the basics. I was on the floor today. I looked around and I did not see a lot of people that looked like me.
Oh, come on, they were there.
They were there.
Right. It's a problem. Mm-hmm. It's a problem, and I want to be serious for a moment. I stop answering questions when people come up and go, "What can we do to get the black vote?" My response is, "What have you done?" Because I'm out. I'm tapped out. Don't talk to me about, don't ask me what I've done. No, you come and tell me what you're doing, and I'll get down with that. I'll do that. Because then that's what we're going to do to get the black vote, because you're already doing it. When we get there, I'm there. Until then, I'm just going to have a gin and tonic. Here's the thought I do have, and that is, if I invite you to dinner, all right, and we talk and we converse, and that's great, there's no real, beyond the dinner, there's not much else. But if I take the time to kind of understand what's your backstory and understand what's kind of animating and motivating you, that dinner takes on a whole different meaning. My point is that we don't personalize the relationship anymore. We do the perfunctory. We give out awards. We say thank you. As we heard this evening, we acknowledge the history. We love talking about the Civil Rights Act. You know, we love talking about Abraham Lincoln and emancipation. But we're not talking about today. And I remember thinking when that sequence in the speeches was out there, I was thinking of Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? That was 1865. This is 1872. That was 1964. What have you done in 2016? And when you have the Civil Rights Act sitting in limbo, and you invite black folks to the table, they bring in that with them. And if you don't acknowledge that at the table, and you get up and leave, and then you scratch your head and go, well, why didn't they enjoy the dinner? Why didn't they stay overnight? Why didn't we get a because you didn't acknowledge the thing that they brought with them that they want to talk about. And I think that's one of the biggest problems. We rely a lot on the window dressing.
What is the conversation you think Republicans need to be having with black voters?
Let's talk about criminal justice. Let's talk about how your kids are educated in classrooms with no light bulbs, or libraries that have, barely any computers function. Let's talk about the healthcare system in which the disparity that you experience is far greater than the disparity of any other community. Let's talk about the fact that, you're living in a boarded up neighborhood and no one's even asking why a black business won't post up in that neighborhood. So that's, for me, is where the conversation has to go. And you've got to be willing to have it, because the answer is painful. It's painful for them, meaning the black community, and it's painful for the party. And they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear people saying, you know what? We feel when you talk about us, notice I didn't say to us, that it ain't good. Because you already have a preconceived notion of what our situation is. And that's not a good way to start the conversation. People don't respond to that.
Okay.
You were saying?
Yep. One last question. So I've been hearing some of the black speakers that they've had at the RNC, and it feels like just getting a black face to co-sign at the talking at.
You don't even have to. You seem to be struggling with saying that. No, it is validation of. It is co-signing and giving legitimacy to. And I don't buy that. I want to see a black person stand up on that stage and speak authentically about their experience in our community and relate our conservative principles or Republican ideals, whatever you want to call it, to that. That's an authentic moment. But when you seem to harangue and chastise the community for its condition, that's why when I'm looking at the responses that people are getting and giving to that, I'm like, you're losing folks and you're using them to do it, and that's disappointing for me.
Yeah.
You know, I had a conversation with a group of members once. We were just kind of sitting around chilling, and I'll say, you know I'm a different kind of chairman. That's how I started to describe myself, a different kind of chairman. I said, but you need to understand something. When I get up in the morning and go shave and wash up, I see a black man in the mirror. When I come home at night and I kiss my wife and sit down and have dinner, it's a black thing. When I go to bed at night and do the same thing, I see a black man in the mirror. So I've got to deal. That's my reality, and I got to bring that into this. Black, Catholic, Republican, in that order. So what do you do about that? My walk is different from everybody else. Doesn't mean I'm less Republican, less conservative, whatever. My walk is just different, and that's the part we don't get, because we don't appreciate the size of your shoes. We think they should be our size. Well, no, come on.
I have a really hard question.
What's that?
Are you going to vote for Trump?
I haven't decided yet. We'll see what happens between now and November.
Yeah.
I'm still open to all of that.
Give me two.
I philosophically, politically, I can't deal with the Hillary Clinton thing. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
But my view is very simple. I look at this opportunity. It's like you have a really good football team, and your quarterback is a little bit shaky, so you don't kick him to the curb. The rest of the team plays him up. You find the strengths, you play to those strengths. You help him with the weaknesses. You try to make him a better quarterback. So we're not gonna throw the long bomb, because our receivers are good enough they can run the short routes. So we'll do the short routes. We do the things that help him get down the field. And that's what bothers me when I hear a lot of Republicans, wringing their hands and complaining about Trump and, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I just can't. Okay, that's your drama. I get it. I understand it. But here's the alternative. President Hillary Clinton. And if you can live with that, okay. I can't. And so that's kind of how I look at it.